brought to you by Black Magic Design, the world's highest quality products for the feature film, post and broadcast industries. blackmagicdesign.com. And by Dehancer. Use the promo code RABBIT to receive 10% off Dehancer products. Dehancer.com.
Kings of Venice, which won the audience prize for Best Documentary, as opposed to the jury prize, and it's very easy to see why, because this is a very LA-centric film. Now that the festival is here in Los Angeles, that makes total sense. So, Kings of Venice is about a very small subsection of Venice Beach. Now, for those who don't live in the area or that don't visit frequently, Venice Beach is our Portland or our Austin. Like Austin, Texas, Portland, Oregon, like those are the places that are known for being delightfully weird and off-kilter sometimes and just being alternative. In the microcosm of LA County, which is bigger than like 7 states by itself, Venice Beach is LA's Portland.
It sounds like LA's Coney Island.
Another good way to think of it, yeah.
For us New York folk, for the local New York people, Venice is LA's Coney Island.
And I've never been to Coney Island, so I don't know specifically. I don't know exactly how that works, but if the analog works for you, I will take it. So, along Venice Beach, there are tennis courts. There's other places, basketball courts, skate parks. So there's tennis courts, and there are also paddle tennis courts. Now, what's paddle tennis? If you say pickleball, you're gonna get hit. It is not pickleball. Like that's part of the fun of this film. Is like there's basically a war between pickleball and paddle tennis, because pickleball is the new hotness that basically sprung out of nowhere as far as popularity is concerned. Even though I remember playing it in gym class in high school because it was something we could do indoors during the winter. But paddle tennis is a different form of tennis. Same basic rules, but the court is a bit smaller. You use a slightly deflated tennis ball. The rackets have holes in them for different aerodynamics. So there was a time when paddle tennis was quite popular, like around the 70s and 80s. But since then, it has massively fallen off to the point where there's only about 50-odd paddle tennis courts still in the country, and 11 of them are on Venice Beach. But this has created a subculture for people who love to play paddle tennis. The film is basically a profile of all these very odd personalities who play the sport, from a guy named Ernesto, who used to be an Italian fashion model, and now he's like the hothead of the sport. Like you have this guy, Larry Nagler, who was a collegiate tennis player, like one of the top ranked in the world back in the 60s. He's in his early 80s now, and he's playing this. You have a former world champion who literally, back when he could win the world championships and he was number one in the world, like the prizes were like $2,500 tops. The inciting incident of this film is that he plays a tournament where he literally comes in third place and his prize is $75. And for someone who at one point in his life was ranked number one in the world at this sport, there's even a scene where, his former doubles partner is homeless. It's like, if you're, as he says, like, if you're ever number one in the world of something, you should be a millionaire. You should not be living on the streets. So this guy, he's very much a BS artist. Like he is that kind of con man advertising guy who will just talk your ear off and wear you down until you sign the paperwork and give him the money. That kind of guy. So he is able to organize the Kings of Venice tournament, like an actual 16-team, 32-player doubles tournament, with the seasoned professionals that are playing in Venice. All of these people are in their mid-40s or late or older, as well as some wild cards, like a guy who dresses like a strawberry because it's kooky, the number one ranked pickleball player in the world, as a way to face off and show which is better, that sort of thing. And it's a single elimination tournament where the prize is $50,000. Like, he's able to secure that kind of a massive payout. And it's kind of fun to watch this because there aren't really any good guys in this thing. I mean, I think Larry is the best one because he's just a sweet old man, and his daughter got him into the sport. And again, a former NCAA champion back in the '60s. Someone who played center court at Wimbledon, playing full on tennis rather than paddle tennis, and settling into the sport basically in his retirement. That he's one of the fun personalities, but there's also like a guy who calls himself Hot Tub, who literally hustles the game. He literally will not play unless there's money on the line, and he brags about the fact that he sneaks his way into big Hollywood parties. Like he sneaks into nearly every Super Bowl without a ticket. There's footage of him sneaking his way into the Grammys and sitting next to Christina Aguilera when she wins. Like like again, there's no good guys here. A lot of these people are kind of a-holes. There's even a villain, air quotes, in the form of this woman Sonia, who has taken up pickleball because it's the new hotness. It's the new trend. And so she's considered a traitor to paddle tennis because she crossed the picket line, I guess. It's so weird. But there is excitement in what eventually becomes a David versus Goliath situation where the top pickleball players make it to the finals. And it's like, well, who's going to take them down? This career online sports gambler and one of the weightlifters from Muscle Beach. Like, what? Like, and it's like, how are you making me care about this? This is clearly a niche sport, a hobby for people, but at the same time, I guarantee you, I've walked past these people playing before. I just never gave it a second thought. It's that whole Venice odd identity, like that shines through the whole way. If there's one thing this film truly does right, it's that it is showing you time and again the passion that these people have for this sport. I don't think it's ever going to become as popular as it was in the 80s. I don't think it's ever going to overtake pickleball. I don't even know how pickleball overtook anything. But again, it just feeds into this wonderfully weird identity that Venice Beach has, like Portland, like Austin, like Coney Island. Like it's almost a separate entity within this already vast melting pot that is LA. So again, I understand completely why it won the audience prize. This is an LA movie about LA people in a section of LA that every LA resident knows about and loves, even if it's ironically. And I think that's a good way to sum up the films. Like, this is not, a barriers breaking documentary about, a forgotten sport that needs to be appreciated. It's like, no, these are just a bunch of jerks being their jerky selves with each other in ironically endearing ways that you can't help but get yourself attached to.
This is the BTRP Media Network.